the sweetest disposition. One guess who? Who never starts an argument. Who never shows a bit of temperament. Who's never wrong but always right. Who never dream of starting a fight. Who gets stuck with all the bad luck. No one but Donald Duck.
Hello, I'm Surfer Clock.
And I'm Tap G.
And welcome to What's the Attraction?
Where our work is your vacation.
What can you say about Donald Duck? In direct contrast to Mickey Mouse's wholesome nice guy image and Goofy's happy-go-lucky naivete, Donald was an instigator, a hothead, and totally incomprehensible. As a result, he's been one of Disney's most marketable and best-selling characters.
Donald came into our lives in 1934 in the Silly Symphony cartoon The Wise Little Hen. Since then, he starred in 128 short cartoons, is the mascot for the University of Oregon, starred in more movies than any other Disney character, and even has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, alongside other fictional stars like Woody Woodpecker, Big Bird, Godzilla, Winnie the Pooh, and naturally, Mickey Mouse. And of course, he's been playing second fiddle to Mickey, breeding both a festering rivalry and an everlasting friendship.
And now, he stars in today's review of Mickey's PhilharMagic. Of course, a CGI animated show like this hasn't been around for very long. From 1971 until 1980, the theater was home to the Mickey Mouse Revue, where animatronic Disney characters played classic Disney songs. In 1987, Mickey was replaced by the magical yet psychedelic 3D spectacular Magic Journeys.
5 spoonfuls of NyQuil while watching Fantasia in Willy Wonka's chocolate room, and you get a pretty good idea of what it was like.
Magic Journeys closed in 1993. To coincide with the release of the massively popular Leonine animated tour de force released that same year, Disney opened Legend of the Lion King. The puppets retold the famous Shakespearean tale we all come to know and love, and continued its run until 2002.
Mickey's PhilharMagic was meant as an homage to the original Mickey Mouse Revue, combined with an attempt to bring back newer animated classics to Magic Kingdom's Fantasyland. Disney Imagineers worked closely with Walt Disney Feature Animation to maintain accuracy of the characters. Animators Glenn Keane, Nick Ranieri, and Mark Henn were the original supervising animators for Ariel, Lumiere, and young Simba, respectively, and assisted in the CGI rendering interpretations. This was, after all, the first time Disney characters crossed over into the realm of computer animation.
Instead of recording a ton of new recordings, Imagineers saved time and money by dubbing most of the show's dialogue and songs with the original recorded versions from the films. But fan favorites Minnie Mouse, Goofy, Mickey Mouse, and yes, even Donald Duck had new dialogue. Sort of.
Tony Anselmo, the current voice of Donald Duck, was trained under the care of the original Duck, Clarence Ducky Nash, who'd been quacking for Donald since 1934. Nash passed the role on to Anselmo literally on his deathbed in 1985 and left Tony not only admiring his predecessor, but also fiercely protective of Donald Duck's integrity. As a tribute to the great Ducky Nash, nearly all of the lines you hear from Donald in Mickey's PhilharMagic are old recordings of Nash from previous Disney projects. Even the line "doggone stubborn little" as Donald unpacks Mickey's trunk is straight from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So, what's the story? In the Great Fantasyland Concert Hall, Goofy and Minnie welcome you as you grab your 3D opera glasses. Once inside the theater, Goofy is heard getting the show ready while looking for Donald, who appears to be MIA.
Suddenly, it's showtime, and the gang is ill-prepared. Goofy opens the curtain and shows us an empty stage, and Donald's sound asleep with all the packed instruments. Mickey leaves his sorcerer hat on the music stand and tells Donald to set up the instruments and don't touch my hat.
Of course, Donald, being Donald, he can't resist a little bit of temptation. Once he dons the hat, the enchanted instruments proceed to make trouble for him before opening up a vortex and sucking Donald in. Where does he wind up?
Wonderland, right? Right down the rabbit hole?
No.
The game grid of space paranoids.
That'd be pretty cool, but no.
The saccharine-coated raceways of Sugar Rush?
No.
The darkened alleys of Traverse Town with Goofy and Sora?
No.
The Twilight Zone?
No!
The elegant dining table of the Beast's Castle listening to Lumiere singing Be Our Guest?
No! Yes, he does. Lumiere, the charismatic Parisian candelabra, serenades Donald with the renowned cabaret-style number Be Our Guest, albeit quite truncated. But Donald is distracted by the delicious food and the fact that he needs to find Mickey's sorcerer's hat and return everything to normal. But in classic Donald fashion, fate seems to conspire against him at every turn.
At the song's end, Donald gets drenched by silent bucket-wielding brooms from the Sorcerer's Apprentice. But the feathered instigator gets submerged into Ariel's cavern, where she sings Part of Your World to Donald. Then that transitions into Simba's I Can't Wait to Be King. Then fly alongside Peter Pan before soaring into Agrabah for a magic carpet ride in a whole new world. Up till now, we've had all sorts of things like corks, water, desserts, jewels, and cutlery fly in our faces. But now we fly behind Donald as he pursues Aladdin and Jasmine on his own magic carpet. Sooner or later, Donald will get that hat back, right? Well, possibly. But for now, let's discuss.
I think you and I can both agree that this is a pretty good show.
It's one of my favorites in the Magic Kingdom. It's hard really not to like it.
Yeah, I mean, as two mid-20-somethings theme park critics, this is made to
kind of bring back a nostalgic factor for us.
True that, and it's a nod to the early 90s Disney animated renaissance, which does seem to play a big factor into these parks now, don't they?
Yeah, it works and it doesn't. I mean, obviously Little Mermaid is renowned for kicking off the Renaissance, and Beauty and the Beast being the only film to win that Oscar nod for so many years.
Yeah.
But now with both shows playing at Hollywood Studios, and you have the new Fantasyland with areas dedicated to Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, it seems a little overdone.
Just a bit. I do like the show for what it is. The length, I think, is perfect to keep kids, entertained. Actually, all audiences. It never goes on too long with any one segment, and just goes from segment to segment to segment. Overall, plot-wise, I really have no problem with it. It's a decent story. It kind of helps to keep the whole thing going. And it is kind of a tribute to the Mickey Mouse Review.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it kind of gives it more purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, the other one was just kind of like a character sings, a character sings, a character sings, and it's done. Here, it's done with more of a story, and it gets you more engrossed. Not just the special effects, which are awesome, by the way.
Yes, I do like the physical effects. From the corks popping out and giving you those brief little blasts of air.
Yeah.
Which can feel great on a summer day.
Or even the smell of the apple pie.
Ooh.
They aerate that building well.
They do. You can never really smell it too much until you get into the theater, and even then, if you haven't seen it before, you don't know.
Yeah.
Why does it smell like pie?
As opposed to Stitch's Great Escape, where you smell the rancid chili dogs in the queue line.
Ew.
PhilharMagic? Stitch?
Ew. Definitely. And as people who go to the park regularly, we have seen it quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And it stands up to repeat viewing, I think. First-timers, though, are going to love it.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. I love how fun and whimsical this attraction is, but it's not without its faults.
Sure.
First, let me say the good things. Number one, the CGI renderings like Lumiere and Simba. My God, Lumiere looks like he's real brass, and Simba looks like a real lion.
Definitely.
That is great. But this was also Disney in its early CGI years. So what you also have is Ariel with this blob of red hair that looks so amorphous. It's a little distracting. And when Donald gets drenched by the brooms, I know there's supposed to be feathers sticking off his head to look wet, but they look like little spikes coming off his head. It's kind of weird.
I never noticed the thing about Ariel's hair. I'm definitely going to have to take another look at that.
Yeah, for me,
I never really paid too much attention to that. I was always looking in the background, trying to see if I could find any Easter eggs or little hidden things.
Yeah. I also love how it's such a great send-up to the classic Donald cartoons. I mean, if you've ever watched a Donald Duck cartoon, you're going to love this.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, the biggest fault is that, like I said, I get so tired of the Beauty and the Beast and the Little Mermaid, as amazing as they are.
Yes.
But, here's something they could do. They could change it up. Go Star Tours style. So that every time you go, you could do, like, Lilo and Stitch with the Hawaiian roller coaster ride. You could do Bare Necessities of Jungle Book. When I See Elephant Fly from Dumbo. You could do, something, I See the Light from Tangled. I mean, there's Hercules Zero to Hero. I mean,
I love that sequence.
These could be great ideas, and they could expand upon that to change up every time you see it. So you're not seeing the same 4 films plus Peter Pan over and over again.
There's actually something in the interesting in the queue that I could point out that kind of hints at this a little bit, but not really.
What's that?
Now, in the queue, you see all the different posters for all the different seasons of PhilharMagic.
Oh, yeah, there's 3 Caballeros, there's Willie the Whale, the 3 Little Pigs, and Wheezy and Genie.
I mean, it's a nice touch, but why not integrate that with the Star Tours style?
That could be awesome!
Imagineering, we hope you're listening.
Yes, yeah.
You're welcome.
So, As a whole, Mickey's PhilharMagic is a great ride, just does not completely stand up to repeat viewing, and if it wants to do that, it needs to have more detail or something to change it up. I give it a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5? Well, I mean, and me being a story guy, I think the plot holds up well enough, but otherwise, you know, it's very basic. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Alright, so 3.5 out of 5 from Surfer Clock and a 4 from Tap G. Mickey's PhilharMagic is a 3D movie, and scooters and wheelchairs are welcome. Reflective captioning is also available upon request, as well as assistive listening and audio description.
This is a lighthearted, surefire crowd pleaser. Fans of the Disney animation renaissance of the 90s, fans of the old-school Donald Duck cartoons, fans of Disney music. Essentially, if you love Disney animation, you'll have a lot of fun watching this. Aside from the few moments of darkness and some loud noises, kids will also have a great time.
6 out of 7 to approve.
6 out of 7 what?
Dwarfs. Grumpy's a tough nut to crack.
It's a great diversion. There's almost never a line for it, and it's only 15 minutes long. If you need a break in Fantasyland between Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Small World, Belle, and Little Mermaid, this is a great place to relax. Mickey's PhilharMagic, a delightful gem that's heavy on the charm. Come in.
Hi guys. Tapford, is everything okay? Not exactly. We called and emailed Mr. Tony and Selma over and over again, and he hasn't responded. Well, isn't that great timing?
Well, how are we going to have Donald Duck if we don't have Donald Duck?
I got an idea.
Please stand by.
And now, the totally real, the totally not some guy just doing an impression, Donald Duck!
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Donald, you're one of Disney's greatest movie stars.
Oh, shucks.
Heck, one of the greatest movie stars in general.
Oh, go on.
How do you do it?
Thanks for reality. A really good agent.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the first one?
I said yes. The looks and handsome.
Oh, looks, got it. Sorry. So you've been working with Mickey for nearly 80 years now. Are you really as jealous as you let on?
Me jealous? Actually, Mickey's my friend.
You're what?
Friend. I said friend. Do you understand the right way of coming out of my beat?
Oh, sorry, friend. I gotcha. You're just kind of hard to understand sometimes.
Well, then maybe you should try...
I mean, really?
One last question. What do you think of Mickey's PhilharMagic? You're what? Tap G! You have to calm down! Oh.
Quit while you're ahead. Sign off.
And the moral of the story is, don't talk like Donald Duck for more than a few minutes at a time, or all the blood goes to your head and you pass out. So, yeah. Thanks again, everyone. I'm Surfer Clock, and I'm Tap G! And thanks for listening to What's the Attraction, where our work is your vacation. Tapper, would you get a bucket of water already?